This week on Ignition, we find out just how capable the new GTR is. What is left to be said about the Nissan GTR? It is the defining supercar from Japan, the product of unparalleled scrutiny by its engineers who've made no compromises on their mission for outright speed. The GTR is the culmination of modern performance technology, and it is the standard by which others are judged. But there's a problem.
You see, recently I was checking our test data, looking at the top 10 best performing cars in each category: acceleration, braking, road holding, and I noticed something peculiar. The GTR isn't there. It only holds 2 spots, 5th place in 0 to 60 acceleration and 8th place in figure 8 lap time. Now those results are nothing to scoff at, but I couldn't help but think that the supposedly all-conquering GTR should be capable of more.
Good thing a new version is here. For 2013, Nissan engineers went back to the twin-turbo V6 and improved its intake efficiency. Then they enlarged the intercooler's intake duct and improved exhaust flow. Now it makes 545 horsepower and 463 pound-feet of torque. But the engineers didn't stop there. They also strengthened the transmission and improved the suspension tuning, and now it comes with lighter, forged wheels.
If there's ever been a time to set records, it's now. My goal this week is to put the GTR in the top 10 of each performance category. Here's what I have ahead of me. Acceleration requires that the GTR covers 1,320 feet as fast as possible. Braking demands that those full floating Brembo rotors halt the GTR from 60 miles an hour in less than 100 feet. Setting a fast figure 8 lap time, getting a high average lateral G demands the utmost from the suspension tuning as well as from acceleration and braking. Let's get started.
We'd start with straight line acceleration. The quarter-mile test is one of the oldest and most widely recognized measurements of performance in existence. It sounds deceivingly simple: get from point A to point B.
Only it's not that simple. You have to be mindful of temperature, tire wear, clutch wear, gearing, and so on. Each facet of the car has to be considered.
Currently, the GTR is 5th place in 0 to 60 acceleration, but it's 17th place in quarter-mile time. In order to get into the top 10, it will need to make a pass in 11.1 seconds or less.
Now the most crucial aspect of this test is the launch. You have to get out of the hole as quickly as possible. Now normally that means carefully judging the power band and some tricky clutch work, but in the case of an all-wheel drive car with launch control, it means hitting a few switches, planting the brake with your left foot, mashing the gas with your right, and putting your faith in the miles and miles of wires underneath the car to get it right. Now we're getting a little slip through first gear, which might slow us down a bit, but that's okay because the first run typically isn't the fastest. The car has to learn the surface and figure out the best way to put the power down. All right, the surface is cleaned up. I got a good feeling about this. Really aggressive start, but we seem to be getting a little bit more speed than we have before. I like the way this run is feeling right now. All right. That felt really good. That felt really good. The official numbers are 0 to 60, 2.8 seconds, and the quarter mile, 11.1 at 124.8 miles an hour. That sounds really good. Let me check the official figures here. 2.8 seconds to 60 ties us with the Lamborghini Aventador for 2nd place. And the quarter mile, 11.1, tied with the MP412C, the McLaren, well under 10th place. We did it.
With our acceleration mission complete, it was time for braking. This test consists of repeated full ABS stops from 60 miles an hour and requires the best performance from the brakes as well as the tires. The GTR will need to stop from 60 miles an hour in under 97 feet in order to break it into the top 10.
This is a difficult test for heavy cars with big wheels because they have so much more mass to slow down. Nearly everything about physics is working against the GTR. It is a big, heavy car, and it's on 20-inch wheels. But physics isn't really something the GTR has ever really cared about. Oh, a lot of movement, a lot of movement. That didn't feel so good. And then again. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Felt pretty good. All right, now the braking test. Let's see what those results say. I see 109 feet, 107 feet, 105 feet, and nothing better. Looks like physics might have won that round. Our best stop is 105. Let's see where that ranks in the official numbers. 105 is not going to get us in the top 10.
Undeterred by the braking performance, we let the car cool for a bit. Then, it was time for the big test, the figure eight. The figure eight test puts every piece of a vehicle's dynamics to work. It consists of two 200-foot skid pads separated by 500 feet. The car must enter the first corner as fast as possible, stay on the limits of the tires throughout the turn, and exit as hard as it can. And then the process repeats with the next corner. The results come in the form of a fastest lap time and the lateral G averages the car generates in each corner.
This test demonstrates the effectiveness of the car's total package. Its engine, its transmission, its suspension, its tires all have to work together and give the driver the utmost confidence. Now, currently the GTR is 15th in lateral acceleration and 8th in lap time. I'm hoping that retuned suspension does its job. All right, entering at about 75 miles an hour. This thing turns in very sharp, moderate push that you can easily fix with a big dose of throttle. This car will slide on power, and that's probably one of the most delightful bits about it. It gives you so much grip. You just have to be very judicious with your throttle application. You feel like you can just keep pushing it harder in each corner. Come on, give me that lap that I want. That was a good entry. And we're pushing too hard. I'm going way too fast through that corner. Come on. This car has the time in it. It has the speed. It has the power. It has the grip. It just needs to all come together. You have to be patient, restrain yourself. And that's a difficult thing to do when you have 550 horsepower and all-wheel drive. Oh, no, 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 come on. Not overdriving it, not overdriving it, right on line. A little bit of slip, but that's not a problem. And this lap is feeling pretty good. That felt really good. That one felt really good. All right, let's see what we got here. I see 23 seconds. That's really good. Now, what does the record say? 23. 23 is the third best lap time we've ever recorded around the figure eight. So this GTR is second only to the Porsche GT2 and the Corvette Z06, and both of those cars had Michelin Cup racing tires on them. This thing doesn't, and it's just tenths behind them. This is, we did it, we did it. This is the third fastest car we've ever put around the figure eight. It beats the McLaren MP412C, it beats the GT3 RS, it beats the Corvette ZR1, it beats the Lexus LFA. It's incredible.
The GTR's overall performance is extraordinary. Sure, we weren't able to get into the top 10 of every test, but the GTR's worst result is a 105-foot stop from 60 miles an hour. That's incredible. As our test data shows, the GTR has world-class capabilities that rival cars that cost twice as much, even 3 times as much as it does. And the GTR delivers such astonishing performances without feeling uninvolving or alien. It's still fun.
The test results prove that the GTR is the supercar benchmark. And this isn't just any GTR, this is our GTR. Through the next year, we're going to be using it as the standard of fast, pitting this against anything worth judging. If there's something you'd like to see try to take this car on, use the comments section to let us know.